Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm back with another KULR video. KULR stock, it looks like it wants to bottom out. I tried trading this one today, but I woke up late. Some people did jump in when I told them, hey, if this breaks out, we can have a big run on this if it breaks out. Let me show you the daily chart here on the right hand side. Right hand side. Let's go back to the 3-minute here. So a lot of people jumped in right around here at like 250 to 260, and I told them, hey, if we break 270, we're going to 3. If we break 3, we can go to 367. That's almost 50%, but not quite, right? Like, there's money to be made when this one explodes. This one has not been following all the other stocks out there that have been skyrocketing. It's been going sideways here this entire day. You can see, I remember telling people in the Discord, I'm like, if it's going sideways like this and you have a position, it's just get out. Like, get out, because this sideways action just tells you, like, we're going nowhere. That's what it's communicating to you. This 3-minute chart, this is the daily candle, right? The 3-minute chart, you can see here, what is it telling you? It's telling you, like, hey, we're going nowhere. And when you see that, that means there's too much battling between buyers and sellers. And at that point, you just got to step back and walk away. Like, if I had jumped in, if I had not woken up late, if I had jumped in here with everyone else, I would have moved up my stop loss to break even, and I would have gotten stopped out at break even or small little cent loss, whatever, no big deal. In fact, if I had stayed in it, I would have seen this right here, this sideways action, and I would have been like, okay, this is about to, I think I said this in the Discord, I'm like, this is about to make a volatile move, because I saw this triangle here. I saw this, and I'm like, that's about to make a volatile move, and it did. It made a volatile move to the downside. So I would have immediately gotten out. And I don't day trade. It's rare that I day trade. When I do day trade, you better know, like, I see something. That's what that means. I'm mostly I'm a swing trader, period. But I will day trade if I see the setup. Because someone did say in the YouTube comments, someone did say, where is it? Why can't I find it? What do you consider as the actual MACD crossover when the 1-day lines actually cross? The stock has already switched directions days ago, and one can miss out on huge moves. And my answer to that, I did not reply to that because I wanted to answer it in video. If it crosses over, sure, I'll miss out if there's a big volatile move. Yes, that'll absolutely happen. But I don't trade with emotion. I don't trade thinking that way. I'm not thinking in my head, oh man, I'm going to miss out on a huge move if it happens. Maybe I shouldn't stick to my system. Maybe I shouldn't stick to the strategy, right? Oh no, I don't care about that. I trade like a bot. If MACD crosses over, buy. Else, if there's no crossover, don't buy. And once it does cross over, okay, you execute the order, and then if the cross under happens, you sell. If cross under happens, sell. Else, don't sell. Simple, like, algorithm. Like, I trade like a machine. I don't care about all that other stuff. Like, oh no, I might miss out huge gains. Oh no. I mean, tell that to the people who bought down here on this crossover. It ran from 77 cents to 5.49. In fact, if they bought at 77 cents, they would have sold when it pulled. No, actually, yeah. So let me correct this. Okay. So here's the crossover right here at 70. No, what was it? 80? 80 cents. Then it crossed under at 130 right here. It crossed under at let's say 127. So that's what? That's a 50% move that you captured. And all you did was what? You waited for the crossover and you sold in the cross under. Boom, you just made money and you captured 50%. Sure, you didn't capture the full, 1,000% or whatever, but hey, I don't care about that. I don't care. I don't get emotional about, oh no, the huge move, I might miss out. No. I'm a machine. I click buy when it crosses over and I click sell when it crosses under. I have a stop loss strategy. I have an exit strategy. I have an entry strategy. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's my answer to that. If you want to try and time the bottom, which it will be difficult to do so, unless it's ranging, clearly ranging. Like back then, it was ranging here. That's a bottom right there. It's very easy to time the bottom when it shows you this kind of range. Why do you guys think I'm so good at picking the bottom on AITX? which a lot of people made money on, because I told you guys, like, this is an AI stock. It's gonna pump a lot of times this year. It's got a very clear bottom. We abused this bottom last year, and we made a lot of money on it, 100% win rate, because it's hard to lose when you can time the bottom. I want you to think about what I'm saying. I don't use the MACD crossover strategy on this because that's not necessary. There's the bottom. It's very clear. Every time it comes down to 0026s, it likes to have a run of 100%, 80%, sometimes a big 300 to 500%. It loves to have these pops. You can see so many runs it's had. This year it's had one, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come, and I'm going to wait for 0026. This is a different strategy. I don't use the MACD. That's not necessary because the bottom is very clear. Right now, the bottom is not very clear. The bottom was clear back then, and that's why all these people made money. They bought it when it was going sideways, and then it ran huge. They made a lot of money. Right now, the bottom is not clear yet. We broke out of the downtrend. We're going sideways here for 3 days. I think we will get a big move. And if you want to try and time the bottom, go for it. But the best way you'll time the bottom is when it's going sideways like this for weeks, like I just showed you with the ATX. That's why these people made so much money. Those of you who bought down here, now you know why you made a lot of money. You bought it when no one wanted it, low volume. It was just going sideways at a bottom. The bottom was very obvious and clear, and you took advantage. And that's how you make a lot of money. Right now, you can try and time it, but there's no clear bottom. It's going sideways here. You can try and time it. I wouldn't blame you. I'm telling you right now, I would not blame you if you try to time it here, buy in, and hold the position to see if it gets that big 100% or 50% move. I can see this making 50% move. It has not done it along with the other stocks out there. I think it can do it. You can try and time it if you want, and I wouldn't blame you. And you will make money if you try and time it. But if you're wrong, obviously, it can go down lower, and now you're going to be holding a 50%. It can drop just as quickly, 50%, right? So I think sellers are finished. They're not able to push us down lower. And I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to time this here if you want to try and time the bottom without a system. My system calls for me to buy when it crosses over. That's just how I am. But that doesn't mean I don't recognize the opportunity in front of me if I was a different trader. You know, if I wasn't such a machine bot type of trader, systematic, then I think I would take a position here. Like if I was using discretion and being more human, I would be like, sellers haven't pushed us down below 229. It bottomed out at 181. It's going sideways here. Not a bad risk to reward ratio. I would set a stop loss at like 228. Buy in right now. And if this thing pumps 30-50%, I just made a lot of money. If it comes down, I lose a little bit. Like it's not bad to try and time it here. But again, I'm a systems-based trader. So that's my answer to that. That's a long answer, but I just want people to learn how I work and how other people work. Like, I would not blame you. Like, you might make more money than me because of that, because you're willing to try and time the bottom. But if I'm going to time the bottom, I'll just time the bottom on a stock that I know has bottomed out, and I've been abusing that bottom since when? Since, Since last year? So, let's see, since 2023, this thing has held this bottom. I'm just gonna continue to abuse this one. Why wouldn't I? I trade a very small basket of stocks. Very small basket of stocks. Because why would I trade anything else, right? Once you find something that you can abuse, might as well, right? Like that's just my thought process. You think the machines care? They don't care. They'll abuse strategies if it works. The machines don't care. The algorithms don't care, right? They just follow what they're told, what they were programmed to do. So that's just how I am. In the markets, in real life, I'm not walking around like a robot, beep, bop, boop, right? Obviously, but that would be weird. But yeah, I'm waiting for the crossover. But I wouldn't blame you please, if you want to try and time it here, I would not blame you. I'm telling you, you could make a lot more by trying to time it. But I'm gonna stick to waiting for the MACD. Up to you how you want to play it. But the price action is very different here from back then. Now we're getting buyers stepping in. We have in the past 4 days, we've had 2 green candles and 2 red, and buyers can't. They continue to step in at 229-ish, and sellers I think selling pressure is done. So unless the market as a whole dumps, we should see a pump on this, and I could see a 30 to 50% recovery from here. And if it does happen, you guys will come back and be like, damn, how'd you know? Because the setup is there, the risk reward is good. But that doesn't change that I'm going to stick to my system-based trading. That's just how I am. So it's looking good. To sum it up for the ones that were like, oh my God, this is so technical. It's looking good. It's looking good, guys. We're not going any lower. The seller's pretty much finished for now. if we can get a huge pump tomorrow on the markets, which, what is it, Friday? We'll see what happens on Friday. If we can get a huge pump tomorrow, I could see this moving 30 to 50%. It hasn't done it like everything else. I can see it happening. There's opportunity here. When it crosses over on the MACD, I will analyze, because I'm not just going to jump in. I'm going to analyze and see, like, is this a good time to jump in on this MACD? It looks like it is. I'm going to jump in. Because sometimes it can fake you out. And those of you experienced, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes the MACD can fake you out. So it's not just, it's not as simple as, oh, I jump in like a bot. I do jump in like a bot, but I do make discretionary decisions as to whether, does this look like a fake out or not. So I do have some input into it to an extent, really just to see if I'm not getting faked out. Because whenever it crosses over, you can see the volume increases. Look at this volume, 28.89. And then the next day on the crossover here, it jumped up to 136. So when it crosses over, you're jumping in with the strength and volume, hopefully, of buyers. You got momentum behind you. That's why I don't try to time it. And we're also near the 200 weighted moving average. So I'm thinking, because we are going sideways, I'm thinking we're waiting for the inauguration of President Trump, maybe. I don't know. It's weird that we're just going sideways here. That's good, though. It's an opportunity to try and time the bottom. But I'm not going to do that. I got my own strategy. You got your own. Follow yours. If you're going to follow me, wait for the crossover. If you really don't, though, if you really want to try and time it, I'm begging you right now. If you want to try and time it, is looking good, right? It's better than trying to time it up here. Like, right? Like trying to time it up here. Oh, this is the bottom. Remember when it dropped and people were trying to they were trying to time the bottom here at $3.30. Like, here we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you got to be careful though. Like I said, here people thought, see how it was going sideways here? It stayed above $3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. It stayed above $3, and then on the 6th candle, we broke down and went lower. Now we're going sideways again. The question is this going to be, let's move it down. You're going to see right away what I mean. You're going to see right away, it looks kind of similar to when it was up here, right? Looks like it's going to hold above $3. It didn't. It broke down. So we've been going sideways here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's wait for day number 6. Let's wait for Friday and see what happens. Do we get a big push on Friday or do we get a big dump? And we go lower, under 181. That is the question. That's why I'm saying you can try and time it. Absolutely would not blame you. But I'll wait for my MACD crossover. Because if it never happens, it's just going to keep coming down lower. So there you go. Like I never have that kind of mentality of, oh no, I'll miss out. Like I don't have that. That's long gone. I don't care if I miss out. We're missing out on big runners every day. Every day there's a big runner. We're always missing out on something. That's just, you got to get over that. Seems like you have a complete change of heart about Rigetti. LOL. The whole market crashed and you panicked. Talked about, what did I tell you? Huh? Was this guy confused? This is a color video, not a. Why did he comment on Rigetti? I think he might have been confused there. But we did make money on Rigetti though. I just don't try to time bottoms. He's still saying it wrong. KULR, is that what you want me to say? KULR. Buying Bitcoin is why it's not skyrocketing. KULR CEO bought BTC was a bad decision. Hey Shades, I'm a new Patreon member now. Yeah, welcome. I already saw you in the Discord. Get ready to make the easiest money ever. If you follow my alerts, if you're just gonna go off and do your own thing, just remember that's on you. So I'm telling you, I'm waiting one more day because you got to look at the patterns. That's the pattern here. That's the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. On the 6th day, we broke down. It looked like maybe it's going to bottom out at 3, guys, and it didn't. So is that going to rinse and repeat and we're just going to go down lower? You know, it's kind of it's the opposite, right? We went sideways here. We broke out, went to a new high. Went sideways here, broke out to a new high. And then that kind of just ended with us. Now we're doing the opposite, right? You see that? You see it's the opposite now? Once you know the cycles, you just see the same patterns over and over again, and you kind of start to recognize like when to jump in, when not to jump in, when there's a good opportunity to time it, if you try to time it, if you want to time it, and when it's time to sit back. You know, it's like I said, it's like poker. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. You got to know when to step away from the table. Got to know when to go in big, when to go in small. If I had day traded today in the morning, I would have made money because it pumped at open. But I woke up late and I'm like, oh, that sucks. Whatever. What can you do? Because there was a day trade opportunity. I saw it. I'm like, there's a day trade opportunity in pre-market. I have to wake up earlier, but I just wasn't, I overslept. Oh, well. Boo-hoo. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Don't be so emotional. Be more like a bot, really. Like, even if your strategy is, I'm a bot, I'm going to try and time the bottom. If that's your strategy, then follow it. Try to time the bottom here. If it works out, you're going to make money. Those who tried to time the bottom here, it clearly came back down, right? So if this is going to rinse and repeat, then we would expect that, honestly. I would expect it to come down again. I would expect that. That would be normal. It would be actually healthy. See, if you expect that when we go up, it consolidates, goes sideways, and it pumps. Goes sideways again, and it pumps. Why wouldn't you expect that on the opposite side of that, right? It's going sideways here, above 3, and it dumps. Going sideways here above 181, and then it dumps, question mark? That's the question. I don't know. I don't ask me if I know. I don't know. That's why I wait for my crossover. And like I showed you, the crossover was money back then. If you bought here on this crossover, look at that big move. If you bought on this crossover, because it happened again, right? It dipped and went sideways. The cross under happened. Then it crossed over again right here on this big green candle. And if you had bought it 2, you could have flipped it at 4 or 540 for a nice 100% plus. Like that crossover is money. I get it. You don't want to miss out. You have that fear of missing out, but I don't have that. And I just showed you. I'm showing you so much evidence. Like that crossover is money, my friend. Can you be patient for it? That's a whole nother thing. That's kind of on you. I'm giving you the strategy and I'm giving you the data. Like I've been here long enough to know, like, let's just wait. Because you don't want to buy in right now and then it repeats this price action and it just goes lower. And then it goes sideways again. And then the question is this the bottom again, right? Because here, the people who bought down here, when it was going sideways here, between 110, 131, was this the top? Like, let's pretend we don't know all the other data. Is this the top here at 174.99? Is that the top, right? It sold off. Then it came down and it went sideways here. For days, by the way. For 2 weeks, 2 trading weeks. It went sideways. Was that the top? You don't know. Because you don't, I mean, you know now because you can see it, right? But you don't know. You just don't. But if you waited for the crossover, the crossover happened right here and you bought in on that big green candle with all that strength and volume behind it, and boom, you could have bought in at like $2 and it went as far as $5.49 and you could have made money. So hopefully you learned something from this. Not just how I trade, how I see things, but also the cycles. You can see them very clearly, just explain to them. You gotta kind of go back in the past and realize, like, when it was going sideways here, nobody knew where it was going. Was it going to go up or down? No one knows. But if you wait for the crossover, I mean, you didn't care whether, you did not care if it was going sideways. You're just sitting there waiting for the crossover. And then it did, and you made your money. And then it got the cross under here, which is confirmation that we're going to go down lower. That's it. That's, boom, I just gave you my strategy, my thought process, how I see things, how I analyze. I just showed you, like, hey, this is how it is. It's going sideways here. We don't know where it's going to go. The best I can do is wait for that crossover and not be concerned with whether I can time the bottom or not. We have no news or catalyst, so there's nothing, to push it up higher on top of that. The only way this would make a volatile move, like right now, today, after hours, is if there was news. But until that, and we can't time the news, right? If we could time the news, we'd just play options and buy puts and calls. Oh, here comes the news, guys. Let's, make a lot of money by selling the news, buying the news, whatever the case may be. Buying before the news, selling before the news, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. I'm very passionate about this stuff. But I don't never be like that. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to miss out. Oh, no. They didn't miss out when it crossed over here and then when it crossed over again. In fact, they were patient and they waited. They didn't care about the sideways action. They waited for the signal. They jump in and they wrote it up. There are people like me who also think the same way. That's why they're profitable. The discipline and patience more than anything. If you trade more like a bot, you'll also have better data because you're not all over the place. If you're being discretionary, you're all over the place. You have a different buy, different stop loss every time. You don't have a specific, algorithm essentially, and that you can look at and be like, if I make adjustments here, I make more money. If I make an adjustment here, I lose more, Like you kind of can't manipulate it like that because you're kind of just, you know, throwing money at it and hoping, which is what some people did and it worked out. Absolutely, I'm not gonna take that away from them. But when you trade like a more systems trader, you're not worried about anything other than is it gonna cross over? Yes, no, no. See ya. Like, why do you think I can read charts so quick? Because I just look at the MACD and go, let me look at Sofi. Just before I let you guys go, I hope you learned so much. You see that crossover on Sofi? You see it? It happened today. Or wait, did it happen to? No, it happened yesterday. My bad. It happened yesterday. You see that crossover on the daily chart? So 1 green day, 2 green day. Oh no, I missed out on buying at the absolute bottom at 13.6. Oh no. Oh no, I could have made so much more. Yeah, absolutely. But look, the crossover happened here. I could have bought in at 15.53, went to 16.38. I could have sold for like $1, or continue to hold it at that point because it's probably going to come back to 17. I would assume, unless the market tanks tomorrow. Friday sometimes can be sell-off days. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just showed you. Hey, on this stock, when it crossed over, you bought in. You're in the green. If it goes against you, to take the loss, you move on. And you take a smaller loss too. Will you make more if you tried to time the bottom here? Sure, but you could have tried to time the bottom here as well, and it just kept going lower. So screw all that. The crossover never happened here or here. It teased it, never happened. It was a fake out. Then it actually happened. Boom, you made money on the actual crossover. Just showing you examples so you don't think I'm just like making things up. Like, this is ubiquitous in the markets. Although you do have to make adjustments to the MACD because like I said, I trade like a machine, but I also make adjustments. Sometimes you have to use a 6, a 9, a 4. You got to change the 2028. Like, you just got to, it gets complex. I'll stop there or else this video is too long. Hopefully you learned something from this. That's it for the video. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm still bullish on KULR stock long term. But if you want a strategy that's easy to follow, just look for the MACD. The MACD numbers, by the way, 1224. That's it, 1224. When the MACD crosses over, well, I guess you can use it for Sofi too, as I just showed you. You can use it for Sofi. It works on a lot of stocks, but not every stock. So don't get me wrong. If you know how to play the game, you will have to make adjustments. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. Got to know when to make adjustments, when to stay away, when not to make adjustments, and keep it the same because it's the best optimized version of the MACD for that specific stock. It's very time consuming. Everything I'm telling you, everything you just learned from right now, it took me years to come up with this strategy and optimize it more than it. The optimization part is the hard part. It's the time consuming part. But yeah, so wait for that crossover. I still think you should wait. But if you want to trend the bottom, I wouldn't blame you. That's it for the video. I will see you in the next one.